So as we can after this, I'd love to meet each and every one of you. It's really, my being here is a sign of how committed we are to growing what we do in Europe. And it's not just me coming over, we're actually hiring 2 more positions into Europe now, an account manager for Northern Europe and one for DACH region. So that's a blatant plug to get that in. So we're really growing and we're focusing in the region. So I would appreciate having conversations with all of you about that and what we're doing. A little preview of InfoComm, what we plan this year. First off, Dan mentioned we have grown each year 17% in membership in Europe. That's a great number, but we want it to be better and we want it to be bigger. And I think in the past we've tried to do that on our own. And that's not really what an association is about. An association is about a group of people that find common causes and try to get something done, in our case for an industry, for the AV industry. So in 2016, that's really what we're going to do. You'll see us at industry events whenever we can be. You'll see us doing partnerships with others on education, on certification. We're going to do some joint marketing to reach into new end user groups. So there's a lot that we're going to be doing, but we're not doing it alone. And we're looking for the right folks to do that with. And you'll see some of those folks up here today. So let me flip to the next slide here. I would like to introduce who's up front first, and then you'll get to hear from each of them individually what we're doing and why they felt it was important to work with us on these projects. So first to my right is Karsten Steinecker, Managing Director of Comtech. Then sitting next to him, John Sidwick, VP of Maverick, TD Maverick. Then next to him, you'll see Luca Russo. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Luca's at the end. Luca Russo with Linde Italia. And finally, with Leitang in Norway, the marketing manager, Oyvind Jacobsen. And did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Thank you.
I call him first name, and that's for safety reasons. So these gentlemen are going to talk a little bit about what we're doing together. But let me do a quick intro, specifically with Comtech to start. So we've been working for several months now on a partner program in the area of education and certification. So InfoComm has a lot to offer content-wise when it comes to education, but what Comtech is able to do, they've licensed content from InfoComm. They're teaching that in German in Germany to help us push towards certification. So you can go to Comtech and take training in language with their instructors that utilizes InfoComm materials, and at the end sit for the AV Technologist certificate or push on even to the CTS, and that's something we feel strongly about we're working on together. So I'm going to welcome you up now to speak a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah.
And about Comtech in general. Do you want to take the podium?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thanks for your introduction.
Yeah.
Comtech is a distribution company throughout Europe, and our cooperation with InfoComm mainly at the mid to long term has a goal to grow the business for Comtech at the end. But to arrive there are certain steps to be undertaken. One is the education, because sometimes in projects you find the end customer that he will not get what he expected to get due to poor service of system installers. That happens, that's the truth. And when we educate those people and come to a certain standard, industrial standards, and that's what InfoComm can contribute to this industry, also especially in Europe, that would certainly help to fulfill end customers or users' expectations. And they talk in their communities about the results, the better results achieved in projects, and that will at the end grow the business. And to do that, we try to educate, not we try, we do educate our system integration and reseller partners in several industry-related topics. Especially the industry is going to see that IT technology know-how also needs to be in the head of the technicians, on the people who do the installations, as well as the traditional Pro AV know-how. We have a very good education in Germany. The system is well known. However, there are industry-specific related topics which we think could be improved. So this helps our partners to grow their business and at the end to grow our business. That's in a nutshell what I think the corporation is aiming for. We already started that, and we had the first 2 courses running, and we are looking forward to put this on a broader scale so that at the end it may be the point that consultants and specifier have a criteria to give projects for large customers to well-educated integrators. That's maybe also a goal, and would help specifiers to select the right players, not the cheap players. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. A little tight up here. So we both share a commitment to quality, and we found a way to cooperate on that that really benefits the industry as a whole, InfoComm and Comtech. So the next person I would like to invite up, let's see, we'll go in order here actually. Talk a little bit about what we're doing with Leitung. It's similar to what we're doing with Comtech in that they've licensed curriculum from InfoComm and they're using it in their local trainings in local language, in Norwegian. And I'm not sure if folks are aware, but we will sometimes do a reduced fee or even a free fee for licensed course content if you in turn will translate it into a local language that we can then use later as InfoComm to spread knowledge within the industry. So we're pushing for more education and specifically towards the AV Technologist certificate. So immediately after attending training with Leitung in local language, folks can sit a test and get in their hand a certificate from InfoComm talking about the knowledge that they've gained at that education. So if you want to come up now.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll advance your slides.
Okay. Well, my name is Øyvind Jacobsen, representing Leitung as the marketing manager and taking care of our competence and training program as well. We've been a distributor for 30 years in Norway, and we're kind of a leading company with around 1,500 accounts in Norway, from very small to larger companies. And as a responsibility to our niche market, with our own competence, we feel that we are the ones who should also provide some of the training technology-wise. We see that there is a lack of possibilities to be educated within AV. We are seeing the trend now, AV into IT, but let's not forget about AV, because AV is also technology. It's very important with competence within the AV signal distribution. Through the ordinary educational channels, there is a lack of paths to go. So we would like to take part in our branch responsibility to secure the level of competence needed. Our partnership with InfoComm has been great, and it works as being a Norwegian hub for communication towards Norwegian AV industry. This with information about the program and to provide a competence program in Norwegian. We do provide 3 different levels of competence programs in Norway, all technology specified, and one of them dedicated towards the CTS certification with a RAVT test at the end. That's about all that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to talk about Lindy and InfoComm, and we're doing something unique there, and this is the first time we'll have done that with a partner or on our own. And this next year, we're going to hold 4 different webinars over 2016. Each of those webinars will be held in 4 different languages. So that's a great undertaking and very ambitious, but it's a great way to reach into local markets, which is another goal we have here in Europe. So I'd like to invite Luca up to talk about that.
Thank you. Hello everybody, my name is Luca Russo. I'm in charge for the Italian market for Lindy, but I'm here representing like the entire group. We are present in all Europe with different branches and different offices. and our job is mainly like to transmit the signal, so converting, sharing, extending, connecting anything from any source to any final output. We are mainly an IT company, so we come from the IT. We are quite new in this market, and we are very pleased to be here and to cooperate with InfoComm. And one of the reasons of the cooperation is perhaps the fact that we are very strong in the IT market, and we have a very large database of IT companies. I mean, selling cables, mainly cables. We have lots of customers worldwide. And what we are thinking with InfoComm is to start with a webinar program. So several webinars to be delivered mostly to our customers. We are talking about nearly 100,000 accounts worldwide. And we will try to do it in 4 different languages. So we'll do it in English, in German, in French, and Italian as well, of course. And so we will try to follow the path of the convergence between IT and IV, which is something that we already experienced for the last 6 or 7 years. So when we started doing the first HDMI cables or even the VGA cables, we started with this kind of experience. So this is something that we want to improve, and InfoComm is definitely like the right source to do so. Thank you very much.
And last but certainly not least, John Sidwick, TD Maverick. And let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing together there. As you can see, AV and IT convergence has happened just by the folks that we have up front. And there's an acknowledgement everywhere that quality is needed. It doesn't matter where you come into the industry. Once you get here, you need to do it right. So as part of that initiative to get more people exposed to the right way to do things, best practices in education, TD Maverick has actually bought 40 company InfoComm memberships, and we'll be giving those to various of their customers and important clients that can make use of our education to improve themselves in this industry. So I'll let John come up and talk a little more about that. I stole a little bit of your thunder, but not all of it.
That's all right. I'd just like to say this is the first time I can stand up here and be more conservatively dressed. Or sorry, Dan is more conservatively dressed than me. And it does happen. It does happen. So my name, just once, yeah. If you ask, just I have to say why. I will say firstly, aloha. Come on, even more. Aloha. Thank you. That's great. So the reason I'm dressed like this is we are a people-based business. We're a distributor. You know, we don't make product. We distribute services and products that are delivered by other companies. And 20 years ago, our business was a 7 people, €5 million business. We've now grown to cover 16 countries, and we have quite a large business that sells a lot of products. But 20 years ago when we started, I had to reach out to somebody in order to grow and scale our business. And the natural company or association to reach out to was InfoComm. So we started working with InfoComm. InfoComm helped us train our people, accredit our people. InfoComm became a great vehicle to meet like-minded customers, like-minded suppliers and competitors. And it really became a beacon for us in the business. And over the 20 years, we've had a very strong association with InfoComm. And particularly when you look at the shows, not only ISE now, but obviously InfoComm in the past. And we want to replicate that because the business is changing dramatically. You know, from Lindy, you hear 100,000 customers. We deal with 90,000 customers. Those customers are all starting to touch audiovisual products. And those audiovisual products are being sold through new channels. They're being sold through traditional AV channels, as you heard from previous speakers, who do still require education, training and support. But they're also being delivered through new channels. You know, on our booth, you'll see Microsoft as one of the main vendors on our stand. That wouldn't have happened a year ago. And that's opening new customers and new channels who definitely need support. And they're like we were 20 years ago. They need a beacon to come to that can provide training, can provide education, can provide accreditation and support, and also communication. And we believe by helping or working with InfoComm and helping spread that message across new territories is really important to us and also important to the industry. I think that's about it. I think everybody else has most probably covered all the other things about the importance of the education. So thank you very much. And mahalo, which is thank you in Hawaiian.
So I think you can see our focus is really on partnerships, and we're open to more. We know that we need to do more in Europe, but we aren't going to do it alone. We're going to look for folks to do it with. So with that said, I think we're open to any questions that anyone has.
And just to emphasise, that could be questions for any of the panelists here, but also for any of our senior team who are looking in the back there too. So, or for Pam. Hopefully not for me though, because I really just don't know the answer to anything. But any questions from anyone? Oh, good. Must have been an unusually clear and concise press conference. Okay, we got something right. Well, thank you to all of you. Thank you all again for coming. Oh, there is a question at the back.
No question.
Another question.
Brad Grimes, I'm with Corporate Data Communications. All the information about these announcements are on those thumb drives at the front, if you can grab one on your way out. But just thanks for coming.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and thank you again to our panel. We invite you now to a little informal gathering at the back with a few snacks and some beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.